How did you get into algo trading?
The first inspiration came when my father was working abroad. But when I graduated, I worked on so many different places, like really struggling to find my thing. I wish I started the YouTube channel. I wish I started trading when I graduated, but I didn't. And I took the opportunity, and that's how I started working for a Forex broker. And it was like really a dream come true, but it's like something was missing, right?
Petko Alexandrov is one of the few traders who transparently showcases algorithmic trading. He built the largest YouTube channel in the niche of expert advisors by testing hundreds of robots and sharing many of them for free.
Did you kind of take your manual trading skills and your manual trading knowledge that you learned in London and kind of automate those strategies?
Didn't really work from the first time because initially I hired some developers to automate the strategies. And there are plenty of YouTubers out there who are teaching trading and they don't have a single live account or a single funded account, right? They just go over the charts and explain patterns and candlesticks, and that's how people lose money, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think the transparency is super important. I think the fact that we do show our accounts, and anybody can go and have a look at the track records. And if an account does badly, it does badly. We show that. We're not trying to sell robots that don't work. We want people to be successful. The primary goal of the channel is to help others to succeed.
If I have to answer with one sentence, is that I have to do, or we have to do what we love the most. And I love trading and I just want to show it.
Yeah.
I literally at one moment stopped trading. I hated it. Like I wasn't really happy from what we were doing.
Yeah.
But especially in the last 2-3 years, I'm trading more than ever. Like I really got back into trading. I have so many accounts now with different expert advisors, with different strategies. Everybody from the team is trading now. And I'm just showing the trading on my YouTube videos. But if you are a trader who is just going to purchase an expert advisor and you see this perfect backtest and a perfect track record, keep in mind that some vendors run hundreds of accounts and many failed, many were blown, and they just keep on the website or on MQL5 the track record that did well or the settings that didn't blow until the moment, right? And immediately I lost money, like a lot of money for me in this time.
Like all of us.
And that's when I realized that I have to.
All right, Petko, let me ask you something. How did it all start? How did you get into algo trading at a time when it was virtually unknown outside of institutional trading?
Actually, I got into algo trading almost 10 years ago, but I got involved into trading prior to that. And actually, if I remember correctly, the first inspiration came when my father was working abroad. He was working as a neurosurgeon. He's a neurosurgeon, but he was working in Kuwait, Arabic country. And he was saving some money. He was trying to save some money for us and the family because it was kind of, these hard periods for every family. So he had to leave and work there.
It was still, Bulgaria, that was before Bulgaria was a democracy, right? It was still a
No, it was after that,
days.
but it was before Bulgaria was into the EU Union, before it was into the European Union, yeah.
All right.
So the salaries here were really low. He had to leave, really hard period in my childhood. But he succeeded and he started saving some money. So what he was doing daily, he had a kind of a notebook where he was writing the exchange rates for euro dollar or for the pound or for the Swiss franc. So he was following which currency goes up, which one goes down, so he could save some money into that currency. And I was really impressed how he's taking care of his savings. And it's probably the first time I learned about currencies and the exchange rates. And he was following economic news. Who is the president of the States now? Who is the president of the central bank of the European Union and so on. But when I graduated, I worked on so many different places, really struggling to find my thing. I wish I started the YouTube channel. I wish I started trading when I graduated, but I didn't. Right? I worked many different things. I was working as an entertainer. I was working as an MC on weddings and team buildings and New Year events. I was managing promotions for perfumes in the malls. which sounds like ridiculous now for me, but that's how I met my wife. So, from everything, something good comes up. And then my sister left the town. She was invited to a bigger office in the capital, Sofia. So they were looking for somebody to take care of the office in Varna, and I took the opportunity, and that's how I started working for a Forex broker for the very first time.
But at that time, I mean, that wasn't any kind of algo trading at the time, right?
Not at all.
That was manual trading, fundamental trading, news trading.
And as you can guess, immediately I lost money, like a lot of money for me at this time.
like all of us.
And that's when I realized that I have to learn to trade. And I was looking for different opportunities. Yeah. There were a few academies at this time. There was one in the States, one in London, and one in Australia, as far as I remember. And the London option was the cheapest and the closest to me. The cheapest, but still too expensive, so I had to take a loan from one of my best friends.
Okay.
And I went to study there. And it was like really a dream come true. But after I graduated and they invited me to stay in the academy, they offered such a low salary that was not gonna even cover my costs in London. That's when I said to myself, okay, I have to do something myself, right? And that's when I recorded my first course. I just wanted to teach what I learned in the academy.
And which course was that?
It's actually first the #1 selling course on Udemy. Even I recorded it so many years ago. It's about the top 10 Forex strategies where I shared 5 EAs. Okay. And that's actually the first time I got into trade. The education in London was great, but it's like something was missing, right? Like a direct strategy or a strict strategy with strict rules. So everything I learned there, I implemented into expert advisors. And into this course, I added robots.
Did you kind of take your manual trading skills and your manual trading knowledge that you learned in London and kind of automate those strategies specifically?
Yeah, I tried to do that. It didn't really work from the first time because initially I hired some developers to automate the strategies. As you know, that's a awful process if you hire a developer, especially one that doesn't know anything about trading. They just don't understand what I have to do. So I learned about strategy builders and I bought myself the FSB Pro at this time. And then AI Studio came up and then I pretty much automated my strategies using these pieces of software and I added these EAs into the course. And then I continued struggling to quit jobs, right? I worked for a few different brokers, a few different brands, because at the time I didn't have any capital to trade with.
But what were you doing? I mean, were you a trader when you worked for these companies?
For some, yes. For others on the back end.
Okay.
I've worked even as a customer support, even just to pay the bills.
All right.
When you have no money to trade, but you have to work something, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's probably, if you look back on it now, I mean, just based on what you do at the academy and what all of us do at the academy, it's so important to actually have that like well-rounded background, not just being a trader, but actually understanding the back end and understanding the customer support and understanding not only how to trade, but also how to deal with other traders, because everybody's different and everybody has their own style.
I agree. Everything I've learned helped me after that to build the academy, to build a YouTube channel, to have so many trading accounts nowadays. But I was lucky enough to catch this momentum with the Bitcoin in 2017 when it reached 20K. And I already had recorded a course about the Bitcoin, Algorithmic Trading. It was one of the first Bitcoin trading robots out there that I launched. And there was just so much interest and so many people bought the course. So I had enough revenue to quit my 9-to-5 job. And that's how I managed to start running the academy full time and later hire people to work for the team.
And I mean, looking back, let's not go all the way back to the beginning, but let's just look back at the last, let's go back to 2017 when you launched the Bitcoin course, or when Bitcoin was kind of on its huge trajectory. What would you say you've learned since then? What are the most important things that you've learned since then in terms of the niche that we're in, the algo trading niche?
So since the course, I recorded many more, right? Because one course brought a lot of revenue and I was able to hire more people to buy equipment and everything we have nowadays. But the thing is, because I was recording courses, and at the beginning, if you remember, I was editing the courses myself. You were editing courses yourself, right? Before we had the editors at the editing team. But I felt like I left the trading on the side because I was really busy with the editing, with the courses, with the support and everything. So I literally at one moment stopped trading. I hated it. Like I wasn't really happy from what we were doing.
Yeah.
Especially in the last 2-3 years, I'm trading more than ever. Like I really got back into trading. I have so many accounts now with different expert advisors, with different strategies. Everybody from the team is trading now. And I'm just showing the trading on my YouTube videos. I'm almost not recording any courses now. There is plenty of content for the beginners to learn from. But from now on, I really want to show on YouTube our trading. Because remember, we are traders who are YouTubing and not YouTubers who teach trading. And there are plenty of YouTubers out there who are teaching trading and they don't have a single live account or a single funded account, right? They just go over the charts and explain patterns and candlesticks. And that's how people lose money, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think the transparency is super important. I think the fact that we do show our accounts, and anybody can go and have a look at the track records. And if an account does badly, it does badly. We show that. We're not trying to sell robots that don't work. We want people to be successful. The primary goal of the channel is to help others to succeed.
Exactly. And you asked me what I learned for the last few years. If I have to answer with one sentence, is that we have to do what we love the most. And I love trading and I just want to show it, not just record courses because of the income, right? We have to do what we are really good at and we have to just show it transparently to the people. That's it.
But I think we're also in quite a fortunate position, is that especially over the last few years, we've been able to grow the team, or you've been able to grow the team to a point where we're a reasonably sized team now, and everybody is very much a specialist in what they do, right? Everybody's very, very good at what they do. And by having, for example, the editing team, and by having additional traders, and by having people who can help with the social media or the support or anything else, it allows you to do what you love to do, which is trading and testing new strategies and testing new robots and really getting the most and the best out of them.
I couldn't do that myself. Like at the beginning, I was doing everything myself, but at one point I realized that I cannot do it. It's just, if you try to do everything yourself, you will do it well until one moment, and then you will just go flat because, it's 24 hours a day. We don't have much time to do everything.
Yeah, it's the law of diminishing returns, right? I mean, you can only do so much to a point, and then actually what happens is it starts going backwards. It starts getting worse because you're trying to do too much.
I believe this applies for everything in life, not just trading team or YouTube team or academies team. Everything that happened in the last year and the great team we have, it's something that I never dreamed of, even, to be fair, right? I always wanted to be a solo trader, to trade on my own, to YouTube on my own, but just because I really needed somebody to help me editing the videos, somebody to help me test more and more robots, manage more and more accounts. This is how I got to know you and the rest of the guys in the team. And that's really more than a dream come true for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, just talking about, I remember that's how I got to know you. At that time, you were still doing everything yourself. And I was a student. I, like you, lost money trading, and then decided to get educated, which is completely backwards. But unfortunately, that's what most traders do. And I found your courses online, and I did a few of them, and I got quite involved in the forum, and I was asking a lot of questions. And that's basically how we met. And then we started recording courses together, and that was 4 or 5 years ago.
And actually, what you said is super important for any beginner that might be watching the podcast, is that when people start, they immediately put money on the market, right? They don't take the time to learn. And quite often when I'm doing support myself and they ask me, hey Petko, how can I start with $200? Or which is the best robot to trade with small account? And we tried to record such videos, right, to be useful, but The best answer is if you have $100 or $200 to spend on trading, just spend them on online courses, educating yourself, because you're very likely to lose them if you have no experience.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the statistics are something like 95% of retail traders lose everything within the first few months.
I think
something
70%
like that.
in the first 1 month alone, which is how brokers make money.
For the beginners out there, guys who have no trading experience and who don't know what a trading robot is or an expert advisor is, can you very simply give us an explanation of what a trading robot or an expert advisor actually is?
The expert advisors or the trading robots, how they are commonly known, is just a code, right? It's a code that describes the strategy. It automates the entry, the exit. It puts automatically a stop loss, a take profit. But there is misunderstanding on the internet, on YouTube, that when people buy expert advisors, they will just get rich, right? Because it's a lot of scam, like every other niche, but especially in our niche, it's a lot of scam. Many YouTubers are promoting EAs, which will make you rich in a very short period of time, or they will make millions. That's usually a scam broker behind the whole thing, right? So I would say the expert advisor or the trading robot is a tool that the trader can use to automate his trading strategy, but it doesn't guarantee anything for the future. Even it had a very good performance until the moment, this still doesn't guarantee profitable results.
What we can say is that, I mean, a trading robot is as you say, a piece of code or an algorithm. I mean, it's called algorithmic trading, which basically tells the platform when you want to open and close a trade. So if you had a manual trading strategy using, let's say, the Bollinger Bands and the envelopes and the moving average, when they hit certain parameters or when they hit certain values, if you were trading manually and if you were sitting in front of a screen, you would have lines drawn on the screen so that when certain things happened, you would manually open a trade. What you're doing with a trading robot is you're essentially taking that strategy, you're putting it into code, you're placing that code onto your chart so that when all of those markers are hit, it will automatically open a trade, which effectively eliminates the need to sit in front of your trading screen all the time. However, it doesn't mean that by doing that, you're just going to be successful, right? In the same way that you wouldn't be successful on every manual trade.
Absolutely. And there are a lot of pros and cons at the same time. Like the pro, as you said, is you don't need to stay in front of the screen, and you can trade with expert advisor from Monday to Friday or 24/7 for the crypto. But manual traders realize their strategy is not profitable once they automate it, right? Because many people will just start using a strategy, they will see a few profitable trades and immediately they want to automate it in the robot because they believe it's profitable long-term strategy. But then the back test actually shows losses.
Okay, so let's get into that. What is a back test
the back
actually?
test shows how the strategy performed until the moment. For the last 1 year, for the last 5 years, for the last 20 years. But even if it is profitable until the moment, there is no guarantee at all that it will continue being profitable.
So how does it actually, how does a back test work? What is actually happening when you back test?
Well, essentially what happens is the platform takes into consideration all of the historical data or all of these candlesticks that we see on the platforms.
Which is the price, right? Which is essentially the price of the asset, the historical price of the asset.
That's the closing and the opening of the bar, the highest and the lowest point in that, let's say, 1 hour bar. And it takes into consideration all of the bars available, and it checks how the strategy performed until the moment. And it's very important to say that it doesn't guarantee that it will continue being profitable if the strategy was profitable till the moment, but it is way more compared to if you don't have the backtest, right? If you just start randomly trading and you have no strategy, no backtest, you're about to lose money. Like 99% you're going to lose money. But if you have the backtest, that doesn't guarantee, it is still much more compared to if you don't have anything.
Sure. Well, I think the thing is also, market conditions change all the time, right? So, and we've discussed it in many, many videos, and we've shown it in many videos. If you look at a backtest, let's say over 5 years, let's say you have an account that started at $10,000 and over 5 years it got to $15,000 or $20,000. It's not a straight line. It's not that it's profitable all the time. It's going to go through dips or drawdowns, and it's going to go back up, and there's all these little periods of drawdown, and it's completely normal, and it's going to happen on every single robot. There isn't a single robot that just has like no losses. And that's probably also quite important for traders to understand, is that just if you run a backtest and the strategy is profitable overall, and then you place it onto a live account and suddenly it starts losing, the backtest will just give you that little bit of extra confidence. It's not to say that it will recover and suddenly you're going to make money, but it also just gives you the confidence, and it gives you a little bit of knowledge, knowing that it's normal, it does go through these dips, and based on historical performance, the chances are quite good it'll come out of it, but there's no guarantee.
Exactly.
There's never guarantees in trading.
Absolutely, and we have to point out how important track records are, especially when you purchase our expert advisor. And even we develop our own EAs, we still purchase many EAs, right? Some of the vendors send us copies because they know the channel and they want us to test it, eventually to review it. And we are always open to test new expert advisors. But if you are a trader who is just going to purchase an expert advisor and you see this perfect backtest and a perfect track record, keep in mind that some vendors run hundreds of accounts and many failed, many were blown, and they just keep on the website or on MQL5 the track record that did well, or the settings that didn't blow until the moment, right? And especially if you purchase an expert advisor only with a backtest, that's super easy to manipulate. Like, you can optimize the expert advisor on MetaTrader to see a brilliant backtest, but there the risk actually of blowing the account increases because it was over optimized for a certain period of time. Okay, so the best thing is to see a good backtest, to see a good verified track record. And what we are doing now in the academy is actually to test the expert advisors from many vendors, and we transparently put the results on the website. And that's like the biggest proof that I wanted for myself and then for our clients, traders and subscribers, that we independently from the vendors put an account and the results are there. If it blows, we say, hey guys, this expert advisor with these settings actually failed and we are not going to use it anymore, or we will try with different settings because we are not the vendors selling it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I just want to touch on optimization a little bit more because we get a lot of questions about it, about why don't we optimize. And I think it's important for people to understand what you were saying about the optimization. When you say that the vendors optimize it for a certain period of time and what that actually means. So if I understand it correctly, please correct me if I'm wrong. But when you optimize a strategy, essentially what you're doing is you're running a backtest first and you're getting a certain result. Then you're telling MetaTrader to give me the best possible result that I could have gotten on that period of the backtesting, on that period of the historical data. So adjust the settings to a point where I get the best possible outcome for the history. But unfortunately, the historical data could be very different from the prices moving forward. So those settings, those optimized settings that worked for that period of time in the past won't work in the future. And actually what will happen is those settings that you set it to will cause the account to fail quite quickly.
Exactly. And here we have to mention probably the saying that history repeats itself. That's so wrong. I've never seen a very similar chart that happened 1 year or 2 years ago. Like maybe a small pattern, like a small candlestick pattern might repeat, not in 100%, but might be similar. But if you look like on the whole chart, you will never find the same piece of charts back in time, and you will never find it in the future, which means that the market changes all the time. And when you optimize expert advisors or strategies, you're fitting it, you're finding the best parameters for that particular period of time, which will never repeat in the future. So the goal here, when you optimize, is to do it carefully in a way that it will give you a long-term performance with, as you saw, those dips and drawdowns and stagnation periods, but the strategy will remain profitable in the long term.
What are the future plans for the Academy specifically?
Oh, the plans are huge. You know, we always have huge plans. And if you don't follow dreams and plans, I guess you'll never be successful. So I'm always happy to dream more that I'm supposed to do. And I'm always happy to put bigger plans and goals for me. But actually, to be fair and transparent to our viewers, you have the fault to put bigger goals in front of me, because if you remember when you were in Bulgaria this winter, we went skiing. When we were going back, you were on the back seat, I was driving, and you said, hey Petko, you know what? I see the academy much more global than it is now, because we're putting the regulated brokers together. We test so many accounts, so we bring together the most reliable vendors. And obviously we have hundreds of thousands of students and subscribers from Udemy, YouTube, traders on the platform. And you said, I see it like we are the center of all of that, or when the people come, they will find everything they need. The right broker, the right funding account, the right expert advisor, and they will see our results transparently. And at that moment, I listened to you, but I didn't see how we can actually do that. And now, just a few months later, we are already working on the new site. There will be a new domain, which I will keep confident for now. But the academy will be just one part of it, one piece of it, where we educate people. And it will be something much more, which we already have. We'll just put it together to reach the maximum experience for every new trader who visits the platform, and they will have everything they need there to be profitable.
Yeah, but no, I think not just new traders as well. I think all the experienced traders, like with the VIP club, the VIP club is growing very quickly, and we have a community of experienced traders. Some of them are new as well, which is really interesting, and they understand the value of it. They understand the experience that they're getting when they join, and I think that's something unique. It's not something.
Yeah, the VIP club is really unique. What we've done to put together the best algo traders in a Discord channel, so they can talk to each other and exchange ideas. Expert advisors, we discuss everything there, like which are the reliable prop firms, funded accounts, EAs. They suggest also us which EAs to test, and I'm really happy with that, to be honest. I really enjoy answering those people that are advanced traders. We often have one-on-one calls with them, right? You make a lot of one-on-one calls. And it's just nice to talk to people that have experience and just to listen to them. And I can share what are the plans there. From next month, we will start doing these roundtable discussions where we all sit together. And it's not gonna be me or you as mentor, as an experienced trader. We will be the same as everybody else. I will listen to them, and I'm pretty sure they will help us grow the way we help them grow.
So that's the future of the academy, and I think one of the big things that has obviously come out in the last year or two is AI, and people are expecting miracles from it in terms of trading. What are your feelings on AI in the trading space?
Well, for me personally, AI didn't help me a thing with expert advisors or with trading. And I've tried multiple times to automate strategies. I've tried to even ask the AI just to find the expert advisor that we should be testing and trading, and it didn't do well. AI for sure is very useful in many niches, but when it comes to trading, and especially algo trading, I don't see how it will be useful unless someone particularly educates AI on the MQL5 language, so one can automate strategies for MetaTrader, right? And that's pretty much what we have with the strategy builders like EA Studio and FSB. So we already have that. I don't see it as an issue, like we really need it to be resolved as a problem, because we already have tools that automate strategies.
And actually EA Studio has its own AI built in, which was created and trademarked like 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's using tech that's only now really becoming commercially available.
Absolutely. And I think just the expectations from the AI are too big and unnecessary, in my opinion, when it comes to algo trading.
Yeah, I think AI in algo trading is very much like what algo trading was in the beginning, or maybe still what a lot of people believe today, which is that, if you implement AI, then you'll never lose. You'll get a strategy that never loses because it's being run by AI. But that's just not how the markets work, right? It's just no amount of AI can predict what the market is.
Exactly. And even some vendors, we see that implement AI in the robots, but that's just a marketing tool, right? Usually they will implement it as a prediction if the market is long or short, just to attract new traders. But AI doesn't have any role in the EA.
So we've obviously given quite a lot of information in this first podcast of ours, but as somebody who is new to trading, somebody brand new, they have no experience, they maybe want to just get a little bit of passive income, or they're interested in trading, somebody who's just finished school, what advice would you give somebody who is just starting out? Practical advice and practical tips.
The first thing I would say is learn as much as you can from the beginning. Watch as many videos as you can from us and other YouTubers. And that's why we've put together the 21-day Algo program, which gives all of the necessary information to the beginner traders in just 3 weeks' time. And it's absolutely free. We included free courses, expert advisors, so the beginners can really test the waters. And then, very importantly, is start small. Open a demo account or a small live account with a regulated broker. That's very important, because if you get scammed from the beginning, probably you will give up. So look for the right regulated broker. We have a few on our website that we are personally using, and we're happy with those brokers. And start with a strategy that is proven, like it has a track record, it has a good back test, it is easy to use, and see how it goes. If you're happy with the results, increase the capital slowly, or look for a diversification between the type of account. So you can start with a small live account, a funded account, or even a challenge. But I'm a bit skeptical about prop firms recently, and we put more of our capital into live trading and funded accounts.
All right, so I think, practically, the first step, of course, is get educated, right? Whether it's with our free 21-day program, whether it's with YouTube. I think what's quite important also to mention, though, is that don't believe everything you see and don't believe everything you hear. Try things for yourself, but try it in a demo environment, so you're not risking anything. So if it falls over, you haven't lost any money.
Absolutely.
The other thing is, if you don't have a lot of capital, if you only have $100 or $200 or something small to start with, rather than putting that into a live account, rather give something like Darwin X Zero, right? It's 38 euros a month. It's relatively small risk. And you can really practice and you can really test strategies and robots in a virtual environment, in essentially a virtual environment, but you can still earn some money from it.
Yeah, I really like the idea of Darwin X, to be honest. I think they are much more transparent compared to prop firms. And I've requested already withdrawals myself, and I had no issues. And it cost just 38 euro. And actually, I received an email this morning that they have a new program where if you invite a friend, you get a month for free. So if you're somebody new and you have friends, you can actually introduce Darwin X to them, and you get a few months for free, which is still a great deal if you're a beginner without capital.
Absolutely. And just very, very quickly, we're not going to go to Darwin X because we've got many videos about it that people can watch if they want, and I will link to the playlist down below. But essentially Darwin X is you pay a monthly subscription, and you initially go through a calibration phase, which is a month. So you'll put a strategy or a robot or a combination of them onto a platform. And once you get through the calibration phase, you'll get into silver. Now, once you're in silver, if you have a profitable strategy, and you get a rating above 75, and again, that'll be explained in the videos if you watch them below, you can immediately start earning 15% of all the profits that you're making in the account, right? So it's much less risk than a live account, and you can start earning money. And while it's probably less than maybe you would earn in a live account, depending on the size of the live account, it's really good practice for you. And it will eliminate the number one reason that so many traders fail, which is emotion. Right, it takes a lot of the emotion away.
Absolutely. What you said is right. And I believe Darwin X will grow as a company. Even they offer just 15% payouts. More and more people will get disappointed, will lose money from prop firms, because hundreds and thousands of people are wasting their money on prop firms nowadays. So I believe Darwin X, and hopefully there will be more platforms like Darwin X in the future, but it has a lot of potential, because they actually make money when people make money, not the other way around. With the prop firms, when the company makes money, when you purchase the challenge and you fail. And I don't want to be the prop firm hater. I still buy challenges from time to time because I like the idea. And I believe there are still a few companies left that they pay out. But as I said in one of my videos, stay low, go for a small challenge. Or if you want to have more funded capital, just buy a few smaller challenges rather than a big one, so it'll stay under the radar. And make sure you use a unique strategy or unique expert advisor or third-party robot with randomization, such as the Forex Gold Investor, the Powerhouse, the Prop Firm Robots app from the Academy. They all have randomization, so your trades will be unique and the prop firm will not detect that you are using third-party software. So I think people still can earn money from prop firms because we do. We receive payouts regularly from prop firms, but it is difficult. It is difficult to stay under the radar. It is difficult to find unique strategy.
But we've also been denied many times. That's the thing, right? So we do get some payouts, but we've also been denied.
Yeah, our accounts are banned by FTable. I was banned by FTable. You were banned by FTable because we were using profitable robots, right?
Yeah, but I think, it's like anything in life. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I got the experience. And what I've seen is that there are better options than the prop firms. The thing is that prop firms are so attractive because you can get 80% of the profits. And one of the most common comments or questions that I get is, why get 15% from Darwin X Zero when you can get 80% from the prop firms? And the answer is, well, if you can actually get 80% from the prop firms, that's great. But more often than not, you won't. So it really does make more sense to trade with a company where you might be getting less. Again, you can't really compare them because it's two completely different concepts, right? One's a hedge fund, one's a prop firm. It's two completely different concepts. But you're dealing with a company that is backed by a regulated broker. They are essentially a regulated broker that backs them. And they're looking for profitable traders. So they are sharing the profits with you in a very fair way. And you know that when you are actually profitable, you are going to get your profits. That's the big difference. They're not going to look for reasons not to pay.
Exactly. And we are never comparing the different types of platforms, right? We diversify with many. If you look on the website, we have live accounts, we have funded accounts, we have challenges, and we have Darwin X accounts because we want to diversify the risk. And at the same time, you can't really compare. What you said is 100% right. It's just a different business model.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the big difference really is that, we know them quite well at this point, is that they are genuinely looking for good traders. Prop firms claim to look for good traders, but, some of us have had some experience where we were good traders and our accounts got banned because we were good traders. Whereas with Darwin X Zero, they're genuinely looking for good traders. And I think the biggest evidence of that is with their risk engine, right? If you have a very risky strategy, they will increase your risk or lower your risk. So that, to keep everybody safe, to keep you safe, to keep the investor safe, to keep the platform safe. But if you have a strategy that isn't very risky, then they will actually increase it. So in other words, let's say your risk is 1.15. What will happen is for every one lot that you trade on your platform, they will trade 1.15 lots on your behalf. So they are genuinely looking for good traders, because what will happen with those good traders eventually is that they will get outside investment, right? So people will actually invest in that strategy. So they genuinely are looking for good traders with good strategies. That's the big difference.
Yeah, you're right. And to be honest, Darwin X as a product is a little bit complicated. It was for me, if you remember at the beginning. You were the first to introduce me to Darwin X. And it took me probably a few hours to go through the platform and open an account and understand how it works.
Yeah, I actually still remember that first call we had with the guy from Darwin X Zero. You and I were in that call together. And we were just asking him so many questions, just trying to understand this concept. Because like most of traders out there, they've heard about prop firms because it's such a buzzword in the industry, right? They know what prop firms are. And in our mind, we were still kind of trying to compare it to prop firms. And he kept telling us, no, but you cannot compare it to a prop firm because it's a different concept. And it took us a little while to actually really start thinking differently and to start understanding what it is. And once we started trading with them, it all just kind of started making sense and we understood it. And especially once we got to a point where we could not withdraw our profits, right? Because it's not profits, it's a management fee, it's a performance fee.
Yeah, to be fair, we still don't understand, or at least I still don't understand 100% how exactly the risk engine works. I know some of the factors it takes into consideration, but It's just super complicated,
Yeah.
so it might be actually a great idea to invite one of their team members or even the CEO, Juan, to one of our podcasts.
Yeah, I think so.
So he can explain in details how it actually works.
And actually, on that note, I think at this point, if you guys have any questions for the CEO, just drop them down below in the comments. Let us know and we'll ask those questions. And also, if there are any other traders or company owners or developers that you want us to invite to the podcast, just drop it down in the comments and we'll reach out to them. And who knows, maybe they'll join us on the podcast.
Yeah, we really want this channel to be community driven. So it will be really nice if the subscribers share their thoughts on who they want to see, what questions they want to get answered. This will make the most out of it.
And also, if you have any questions for us as traders or as a company, if there's anything you guys want to know about us, just let us know. As Petko said, we're transparent, we're completely open, so whatever you want to know, just ask us.
It will be great if we hear some suggestions, but I really want this podcast to be as interesting as possible. So we'll just pick the people who will be useful for us and the community as traders. And I don't want to promise that we will make podcasts every week or even every month. We will record a podcast whenever we have an interesting guest.
Yeah, quality over quantity, absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right, Petko, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for answering all of the questions and helping the listeners who are interested in getting started and giving them a little bit more understanding.
I thank you for inviting me as your first guest.
And yeah, guys, as we said, if you have any suggestions or if you want us to invite anybody, let us know down in the comments and we'll see you in the next one. Trade safe.